drive-by!
Reigns just took out Ziggler and Corbin in one fell swoop.
And now what is Roman Reigns?
Massive match involving Roman Reigns at Saturday night's main event would be magical, says WWE analyst. On January 25th, 2025, WWE will hold Saturday night's main event at the Frostbank Center in San Antonio, Texas. WWE analyst Sam Roberts suggested booking a six-man tag team match involving Roman Reigns for the show would be magical. After defeating Sami Zayn at Saturday night's main event on December 14th, Drew McIntyre revealed to Seth Rollins on Raw that Roman Reigns is on his list of future targets. Meanwhile, the Visionary is currently involved in a feud with CM Punk. The two will square off on Raw's premiere on Netflix. Meanwhile, Cody Rhodes is engaged in a heated rivalry with Kevin Owens. The two went head-to-head last Saturday. Although the prizefighter lost, he attacked the American Nightmare after the match. Speaking on his Not Sam Wrestling podcast, Roberts claimed WWE booking Reigns, Rhodes, and Punk against Rollins, McIntyre, and Owens in a six-man tag team match on the upcoming Saturday night's main event. It could be a fun Saturday night's main event match to do Seth, Drew, and Kevin versus Roman, Cody, and Punk. You could also do Seth, Drew, and Kevin versus Roman and the Usos, or Roman, Jay, and Sammy depending on Jimmy's injury status, Big Jim. But Roman, Punk, Cody versus Seth, Drew, and KO could be absolutely magical, he said. Roman Reigns will fight Solo Sikoa on WWE Raw's premiere on Netflix. Ahead of the upcoming Saturday night's main event, Roman Reigns will square off with Solo Sikoa in tribal combat on the premiere episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. On the same episode of his Not Sam Wrestling podcast, Sam Roberts suggested The Rock could return to confront the OTC after the latter defeats his cousin to retrieve the Ula Fala. Here's where I would do it. Roman Reigns beats Solo Sikoa and has the Ula Fala back as the tribal chief, but then The Rock shows up. And The Rock stares him down, gets in the ring, not in the aisle, gets in the ring, stares him down, and maybe that's how we go off the show, he said. The 41-year-old analyst also predicted the return of John Cena on Raw's debut on Netflix. It would be interesting to see if his predictions would come true. After challenging his younger cousin in a video package on WWE SmackDown, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa's tribal combat match is officially set for WWE Raw's first show on Netflix. It was revealed on Raw on Monday that the match, essentially a no disqualification stipulation match with no outside interference, is set for the big premiere. In the SmackDown vignette, Reigns addressed a singles feud with Sikoa after the original Bloodline, featuring Reigns, the Usos, and Sami Zayn, along with CM Punk on their team, defeated the new Bloodline and Bronson Reed at Survivor Series War Games. Reigns said he was giving Sikoa the opportunity to earn the Ula Fala, the symbol of chiefdom, like he did, and set the challenge for the Netflix premiere of Raw, despite the two being SmackDown stars. Reigns versus Sikoa will be the second-ever tribal combat match in WWE. The stipulation was first introduced when Jey Uso challenged Reigns at SummerSlam 2023, with Reigns putting the undisputed WWE Championship on the line. Triple H recalls bold claim made about Roman Reigns after first WWE meeting. Triple H has recalled an incredibly bold claim he made about Roman Reigns when he first saw the future tribal chief in WWE. First signing with the company back in 2010, Reigns had just made the transition from football to wrestling. Starting out his career in developmental, Reigns worked closely with Triple H, who had just taken over the system. While first impressions count for a lot in wrestling, Reigns left an impression unlike anyone else. Speaking on the Roommate show with Brunson and Josh Hart, the chief content officer recalled his first meeting with Reigns and immediately telling Dusty Rhodes that he was someone special. The first time I ever met Roman Reigns, I had just taken over and started what would become our developmental system, and he had just transitioned over from football to being in our developmental system. The first day I met him, I sat down with him for 20 minutes just to get to know him a little bit. Walked out of the interview, and at the time, Dusty Rhodes was working in developmental with me. I walked up to Dusty and said, "If that kid is not the biggest star we ever have in 10 years, I don't know what we're doing." Holy sh*T. He has everything. When he walked in the room, you couldn't help but look at him and go, "Who is that?" He has an innate X-Factor charisma. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it's the guy you don't see it in them. He's good. He's athletic. He's this and that. But it's really the character stuff. Sometimes it clicks, and sometimes it doesn't. The OTC and the game would work together on screen numerous times, most notably in the main event of WrestleMania 32. Since then, Reigns has gone on to become one of the biggest stars in the modern era. Triple H ready to usher in new era. 2025 will see the beginning of a monumental change for Raw, as the flagship show will be broadcast exclusively on Netflix for the foreseeable future. Continuing the build to the big day, Triple H revealed the new WWE Raw logo. When he initially broke out onto the WWE main roster scene, and especially after the desolation of the Shield, few fans thought Roman Reigns was going to become the promotion's next great star. Sure, someone was going to have to take up the mantle for John Cena, especially as he became more and more involved in the Hollywood acting game. But goodness, he wasn't even the most popular member of his faction. So the idea of turning him into the next Dwayne, The Rock Johnson, just because of their familial ties, didn't sit right with the fans booing him on the regular. And yet, if you ask Paul Triple H Levesque about his initial opinions on the Tribal Chief, which Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart did on their The Roommate Show podcast, the answer couldn't be any more different, with the game recalling a conversation with Dusty Rhodes that laid out much of his future success in the squared circle. The first time I ever met Roman Reigns, I had just taken over and started what would become our developmental system, and he had just transitioned over from football to being in our developmental system. The first day I met him, I sat down with him for 20 minutes just to get to know him a little bit, Levesque explained via Fightful. Walked out of the interview, and at the time, Dusty Rhodes was working in developmental with me. I walked up to Dusty and said, "If that kid is not the biggest star we ever have in 10 years, I don't know what we're doing." Holy sh*T. He is everything. When he walked in the room, you couldn't help but look at him and go, "Who is that?" He has an innate X-Factor charisma. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it's the guy you don't see it in them. He's good. He's athletic. He's this and that, but it's really the character stuff. Sometimes it clicks, and sometimes it doesn't. Now granted, as many WWE fans of the late Vince McMahon era will happily attest, Reigns' success is reliant on having good writing to back him up, as when he was spitting off lines straight out of a Looney Tunes skit or being forced to eat dog food, he wasn't exactly popular. Still, part of opportunity is taking advantage of what you are given. And when Reigns accepted a chance to turn heel alongside Paul Heyman, he ran with it to an incredible degree, turning in the performance of a lifetime with the Bloodline.